My name is Shale Ahmed. I am a resident of Lozells who has been brought up in this area. I have witnessed the good times and the bad times. I have seen Lozells change over the years, different communities coming and going. I decided to capture all of this in a documentary. I wanted to find out if community cohesion exists.
How we will do this? We'll be interviewing local young people, local residents, local traders, MPs and councillors to find out their views and thoughts on Lozells, its past, its present and its future.
Lozells is a young, vibrant area that has been put through its paces in recent years. It has always been seen as a settlement area for the newly arrived communities to use it as a stepping stone to move on. Somewhere down the line it became home and they never moved away.
I grew up in Charleville Road, which is just near the top of Wills Street, and then went to school in Brougham Street, St Francis. And in those days, this was just after the Second World War, and it was a sort of working class community, but there weren't so many cars, so the kids all played in the street together. So some of it was nice, you know. And although it was largely white when I was little, but I can remember then the first Caribbean family moving into the road when I was about 10, because 50s, 60s, people were being recruited from the Indian subcontinent and from the Caribbean to come and do jobs in Britain because Britain was short of workers. And I've always seen it like we were of Irish origin and white in skin colour, but it's exactly the same journey. And I've always said that to people in Birmingham, because there's people of Irish origin, of Welsh origin, of Scottish origin, of Caribbean origin, but we're all inward migrants coming to Birmingham to try and seek a better life and then hoping for better education and a better future for the next generation.
Lots changes I have seen, you see, since the 1960s, because I came into Lozells back in 1962, and since then, you have, if you walked in Lozells Road, back in 60s, you'll find that there was hardly any Asian shop, but now it's all opposite now.
I moved into Lozells in 1979 as a grocer, and I used to import some Asian food from Bangladesh, and I know the community for all these years. And I realized that in the 80s or 85, when the riot happens, that's when the community are in distress, and people outside their Lozells thinks we are the worst place to live. They say, "Oh my God, how do you manage living there?" But we are living a normal life like everybody else.
The question is, what is Lozells like now? Well, I'm off to see a friend of mine, Saidul Haq, who's been a resident of Lozells for over 20 years, to get his thoughts on how it was like to grow up and what is it like now.
My name is Saeed. I live in Lozells. I work here, and I'm a chair of a local social enterprise called Aspire and Succeed. My family immigrated here in 1985, so I've been here since 1985. So prior to that, we were born in Bangladesh and moved in various parts in England. Lozells was, I do remember as a child, was very ugly back in the 80s. It's nothing like as it was now. There were lots of rundown buildings, lots of open spaces. But having had all of that, you still had this, people get nostalgic, but you still had your mates from school and various other things. So it wasn't, different from, I would say, many other areas. But no, it was all about, my mates and being cool and doing silly things and watching MacGyver. But a lot of things have changed. There's a lot of people who first thought, when we were younger, that we were going to live in a sick pad, a lovely mansion, we're going to have a Ferrari outside our house, and we're going to move away from Lozells. A lot of us got really fond of it, and we're still here. So even though we might have what you call middle-class incomes and jobs and stuff like that, and we have no intention of moving. So that's changed a bit, because a lot of people in the past thought Lozells was an immigrant neighbourhood where you came to start off, and then you went to places like Hall Green or somewhere else in the city. But particularly for my family, and other young people, well, older adults, whatever that means, for us, we're still here, and that's changed. So a lot of people want to still stay here, and that's been a big shift in the last number of years.
I wanted to go into more detail about the different communities that live in Lozells. I wanted to get a non-resident perspective, someone who works in the area. Who better to explain this than the local neighbourhood manager?
Can you tell us a bit about Lozells and the communities that live here?
Yeah, there's a lot of communities. I've realised. I've been working here for just over 2 years now, and I keep finding new different communities. There's obviously quite a big Bangladeshi and Pakistani community, and there's also a lot of Afro-Caribbean people, a lot of people who've been here for a long time. But there's also smaller communities. There's an Irish community, again, that's got long roots in this area. There's a Vietnamese community, people who came over in the 1970s. And there's also more recently arrived communities from different parts of Africa, like Somalia, but also other parts of Africa. I know quite a lot of people from the Congo, for example. So there's a lot of communities here in Lozells.
I think, as you know, Lozells is a very rich, diverse community, and you have people from different backgrounds. You have people here from Afro-Caribbean community, Bangladeshi community, you have Pakistani communities, Indian communities, you name it, and they're all here.
Well, the different communities, there's a lot of Jamaican backgrounds, and which has been here for years, and Asians, which we've just now it's been changing, but you got a lot of different ethnic minorities coming into Lozells, which for the people who's been here for from the beginning for ages, you are not known when you come out your house now. It's like a different world. But all the communities are gelling together, and it's a peaceful community.
Lozells is very dynamic, very cultural in terms of ethnicity. There are many issues that Lozells as a community has to deal with. It has gone through many troublesome periods, more recently in 2005 when we had the disturbances. But on the whole, things are improving. Many improvements have happened in the community.
I'd like to welcome Asif Khan now. He's a resident of Aston, which is the neighbouring area to Lozells. He's also a local businessman in Lozells for the past 7 years. So we're going to get a different point of view from him. Asif, a lot of people have argued that different communities don't get on. Well, why do you think they would say something?
Well, there's only very few minority of people out there that don't get on with each other, and that's, I think, more related to the gangs than that.
Okay. So would you say Lozells suffers from gang violence or gang crime? Or?
There is major issues in some part of the Lozells area, but the way I look at it is only, as of a trader in the past 7 years, it's only a very small minority of people that spoil it for the rest of us.
Okay. So in the past few years, Asif, the negative press on Lozells suggests that it's a deprived, violent neighbourhood where people from different cultures don't seem to get on. What are your views on this?
Well, I personally myself, being in Lozells for the past 7 years, the way I look at it, all of us do get on with each other.
Have you ever had any trouble in the past 7 years of trading in Lozells with?
Well, the major trouble we did have was in 2005, where our shop was involved in the riots. Other than that, we've just been trading as normal.
Would you say that was just a spur of the moment incident, or is it a chain of events, or was it just a one-off event that really?
As I mentioned before, it was all to do with small minority of people that have spoiled everything for us and giving bad name to Lozells. Lozells is a lovely place to live in.
I think there has been a time in which the communities have lived parallel lives. I think during the 90s, I think there was a time when people did live parallel lives. There wasn't much communication. But I do think that over time, it's all about the younger generation. You know, the younger generation who are going to school together, going in and out of each other's houses. Yeah. So now I think there's more mixing. There's more people kind of, realizing that it's about a whole community, not just separate but equal.
It is a very deprived area. But I can't say the people don't get on. Probably because of the culture of the other people, they don't get on. But it is a deprived area. But I don't see no reason to put down Lozells, because Lozells is a very good area to live in.
Well, when I first came around here, it was very good, very peaceful. But you know, with times it's changed till bad. But I think you have to get to the bad to get to the better. So to me, I feel it's really peaceful now. Not a lot of things happening, other than people just trying to just make money and just trying to live their life better.
I'm with Shakil at the moment, who's a local barber in Lozells. Shakil, I just wanted to ask you, has it changed a lot since you first come to the area when you opened the shop first to now? Has it changed much?
इतना सहम मुझे तो सहम ही लग रहा है ना, क्योंकि जब राइड थी तो मेरा दिल इधर से तंग आ गया था कि मैं इधर नहीं रहता, क्योंकि इधर से मैं मूव हो जाऊंगा। लेकिन जब आस्ता आस्ता हालात ठीक हुए, राइड ख़त्म हुए, तो अब बेहतर भी है, तो ठीक है, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ठीक है। लेकिन बस यंगस्टर तो वो तो अपने आप को देखकर वो ये एक दूसरे से ऊपर ही जाएं, नीचे ना रहें।
Well, you seem like someone who really enjoys your job. I mean, thank you very much.
Yeah, very good, very good.
I think it's a wonderful place to live and work in, and I think it has such potential. Perhaps some of it is still untapped, but I think the diversity of groups and how people support each other, even in times, of doubt and fear, which we've had our moments here.
Growing up in Lozells is alright, it's not that bad. How people make it out to be. It's not like that. If you know people and if you grew up around here, it's okay. You can mix with everyone mixes with you, it's alright. But there are times when cultures do collide, when obviously when it comes to the crunch, like the riots, no one gives a shit. It's like they stick to their community, we stick to our community.
In 2005, the disturbances left the area scarred and lives shattered. In 2009, do people still believe Lozells is a violent area, or has the area been able to move on?
Do you think now, that after the disturbances, the different communities, do they still gel together, or do they still live their separate lives?
Well, everyone really lives their separate lives, even in our community. But when they're bored and when they got nothing else to do, then they just get together and just mingle. Really.
Yeah, certainly there has been a lot of negative press, especially post the the early 80s riots and the 2005 riots. A lot of people have been seeing bad reviews of Lozells as an area. I mean, a lot of my friends probably wouldn't even come to the area to visit because of the bad press Lozells has had.
You will get different communities who don't see eye to eye on certain things. I mean, it's like a family. No family's perfect. Within a family, you're going to get siblings or parents who don't agree with each other, but not to the extent of actually causing violence necessarily.
I didn't know it at all before I came, and I was told by other people, oh, you've got to be careful, it's a dangerous place to work. I haven't found that at all. I found people very polite, very friendly, and I found the courtesy from the young people quite amazing.
But what about all the negative press on Lozells, making it out to be a violent, deprived neighbourhood? What are your views?
Think about it, yeah. It is a violent and deprived neighbourhood compared to other areas. Look at Solihull, Sutton Coldfield, everything. Everyone got nice jobs, big cars. You go there, you see the big houses and everything. Everyone's living nice there.
Like I said, it's a cosmopolitan area with different communities here. We all get along fine. There have been differences over the years, mainly emanating from misunderstandings, which have just escalated. But generally, the feeling is one where we have different communities and we're proud of our different cultures, and we enjoy subsisting together.
It's good that you say that, because a lot of other people I've interviewed, people much older than you, said that Lozells is a beautiful place to live in, and there's no problem.
They have not seen beautiful. That's the thing, they have not seen beautiful. I have seen beautiful.
What is beautiful?
Beautiful, yeah, when you're walking down the road, a fat smile on your face, yeah, happy to be alive, yeah. Yeah, you go down the road, let me see how many people are smiling. Go and check it out, go with the camera, you got a camera there, check it out.
So would you say it's a good place to live, or no?
I wouldn't raise my kids there.
Alright. What are your feelings towards young people in Lozells? What is the future for them? Is it all about self-fulfilling prophecies, or can young people really make a life for themselves?
Unfortunately, in today's society, the young people are always scapegoats and see us the bogeyman of society. What we need to remember is that we're all young people and we all do things that we might not necessarily be proud of as we go into adulthood. For me, young people are our future.
College, education is the one, mate. To get big girls like that, trust me. I'm not even joking, man. Education is the one, but that way, obviously, you got your education, you change yourself, and then, obviously, you're going to have money then, so you can do what you like.
Young people are, of course, the future of Lozells, and they make up a very large proportion of the local population. Statistically, there are a very large number of young people who live in Lozells. So it's absolutely vital that young people feel that this area is one that has prospects, feel that this is an area that they can be proud of, feel that this is an area they can make a contribution to, and feel that this is an area that they can have a future in.
However, if you want to achieve anything, you can achieve that whatever neighbourhood you come from. However, what you do need is you need focus and you need mentoring and you need guidance, and that's where people like yourself and I come in to be an example and set an example and to guide the young people here and show them that there is a life out there that they can achieve only if they seize it.
We need to mentoring schemes, buddy schemes. We need to highlight to the young people in the community that they are capable of being successful individuals and what opportunities there are available to them. We need to highlight that to them.
Sometimes they're not even aware of the opportunities, what they're able to achieve. So if working together, they can see that it has been done by somebody that also lives in Lozells, and maybe they'll feel that they can do the same.
I went to the Cherry Tree Children's Centre to see the classes run by Aspire and Succeed. This organisation was purposely set up to help families and young people in need of education and welfare benefits advice. I went to see them in action.
You got that answer, 2,752. Well done, give yourself a tick. Because remember, subtract means what, Suhail? Take away, excellent, well done. Right, get your marker. Actually, no, hold on. We'll borrow. Imran, can you borrow your marker? Right, borrowing. You're going to explain borrowing to everyone else. How to do borrowing.
First, because you can't take...
Don't talk to the board. Talk to the class.
Because you can't take 8 away from 0, you gotta borrow the 3,000.
Go on then.
So you gotta change that to a 2. And change that to a 10. But then you gotta borrow from this column, so that turns into a 9.
Well done.
And 9 take away 4 equals 5.
Excellent.
And 9 take away 2 equals 7.
Okay.
And 2 take away 2.
Oh, now you're stuck.
No, 2 take away from 0 is 2.
Say that again.
I was astonished to see the confidence and the level of engagement by the young people. It shook me and made me realise that they are the future, and for Lozells to really succeed, we need to encourage and nurture these young people.
How many people going that way? 1 person, 2 person. Right, well done. Okay. Do you like everybody who lives in Lozells?
Yes.
You have a lot of friends in Lozells?
Yes.
Would you live anywhere else?
No.
Never. Why if I told you you have to live in Perry Bar? What would you say?
Nah.
Nah. You like Lozells?
Yes.
So everybody likes Lozells?
Yes.
That's it then. That's what I like to hear. I'm never gonna be happy. I'm a cynic. That's the truth. You know, I'm gonna always want things done differently, But the thing is, yeah, there's potential for this area to be great, and I'm really happy with the way it's going. You know, but I'm not quite sure what I really want from my area. But I think the way it's going is it's not as bad as how people have made it out to be. You know, there's a lot of regeneration going on, which brings different communities together, because everybody's got to have a voice, you see, and everybody's got to have their own opinions, and that's what it's kind of doing. So this is key. This location we're on now is key, because it's a focus point. It's a point where when people drive past, they notice it, and they think, you know what, this is where this is the area we want to come to. So if it looks live, brightened up, and things like that, then it attracts people. So all these derelict kind of houses and all that, they're going to be gone soon, you know, and hopefully when the business is open, you know, we'll see where it goes from there. But so far, I'd say yes, I am happy, you know, to be true, you know, because it's changed a lot since I was a 16, 17-year-old, which is only a few years ago.
I think that community cohesion always works best where actually there's lots of people from lots of different backgrounds mixing together, because we realise as we live and work together that there's more things that we have in common as individual humans than there are things that divide us by reason of our race or our background or our faith. So actually I think the more that we live close together, the more diversity that we have around us, the more likely we are to be comfortable with each other, understand each other, and to be tolerant of each other's differences.
I mean, the fact that we're here in this room is you know, community. When they say cohesion, sometimes it just sounds a little bit. Sometimes I come up with these terms, man. It's like it just sounds a little bit forced and unnatural. But we're here in this room, and we're sitting down and we're talking and we're working together. I got my mate outside, we're working, we're talking together. Do you get what I'm saying? And that is the real cohesion. That's really bringing people together.
The question we set out at the beginning of this documentary was, does community cohesion exist in Lozells? Well, I believe that comes down to personal preference. Because to me, community cohesion is not about me seeing my next door neighbour from a different culture and a different background and saying, hello, how are you? Community cohesion is about participation, engagement, doing things together. And until that happens here in Lozells, I truly believe that we will never have a cohesive community.